welcome to another episode of Down the Barrel Podcast with Jimmy and Dino.
And sometimes Jared.
Down the Barrel Podcast is brought to you by the Minnesota Bowhunters Association
and Wolf.Report. Wolf.Report, a platform dedicated to elevating the voices of Minnesota hunters, trappers, and outdoor enthusiasts. Join us in advocating for responsible wolf management in Minnesota. Share your reports, photos, and stories, and together we will ensure that they are seen by all.
The Minnesota Bowhunters Association, protecting the future of deer and deer hunting through habitat, education, advocacy, and legislation. All right, so we're back, and today we're talking with Minnesota Bowhunters.
Well, we're not really talking with Minnesota Bowhunters. We are Minnesota Bowhunters.
But you know, the cool thing is it's not your daddy's organization.
It's not your daddy's organization.
We are member-driven and bowhunter focused.
Right.
So
who do we have here today?
Right.
We have Dino.
Yep.
We have Jimmy, and we have Joe.
Yep.
Joe's an advisor.
And Jim and I are two of the three directors.
Right. And we chose that because I think we have to. We wanted to do things differently.
We did.
If I could have came up with a different term, I totally would have.
Yeah.
But there's certain things you got to call people, I guess, when you form a nonprofit.
Yeah. And this was kind of a dream this is a dream you've had for quite some time, even right around TFO days.
Yeah, back probably, I don't even know when we're doing that, 2010 or around there.
I think it was even before that.
Yeah.
What's
maybe.
TFO?
True Friends Outdoors.
Yeah.
Oh.
We had started, Jim had started True Friends Outdoors, and it was kind of a group to where we were going to do
nationwide group.
Yeah, we were going to do video on our hunts and hunting content and just hunters
product
getting
reviews.
Together, product reviews, stuff like that. So
we did have some sponsors.
Yeah, we had that for
good sponsors, actually.
Did that run for 3 years?
4 years?
I would say 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. We almost went to ATA.
Yeah.
I mean, we were like booking the tickets.
Yeah, we had a bow sponsor. HHA sponsored us. We had some good sponsors.
Sounds like actually a really great idea. And it's probably, it would probably jam on YouTube today.
Yeah.
And that was
we
kind
were
of
just barely breaking into video at that time.
Yeah. And then it just, we had a real good momentum, really good content. And
good staff.
That was even when social media was just kind of really taking off.
Right.
It was
a lot of them weren't even in existence yet.
Yeah, but people were still nervous about social media at that time.
You were ahead of your time.
At that point, we were, but we were almost too far ahead because it just didn't. We didn't have the longevity.
Well,
that we
things were a lot more difficult back then to, let's say, make videos.
Yeah,
they weren't as easy as they are now. So we ran into that. People were just getting hungry for videos.
Yep.
And we just weren't quite there yet. If we would have been a little further ahead of our time, we would have been rocking.
There wasn't as many private guys or solo guys out then as there is now.
Right.
And we were trying to get into that, and it just didn't work.
Well, put it on the back burner now.
Yeah.
Right.
We got something cool.
We got Minbo now.
Minbo, Minnesota Bowhunters.
Yeah. .com.
.com.
I was going to throw that in there.
Right. So why the new Minnesota Bowhunters? Why a new organization?
Well, I think it's because mainly there was a hole left when MBI, the old organization, which was started in Coleraine here, close to Grand Rapids.
What, 1946?
1946.
Was that long ago?
It was that long ago. They were one of the first, and they were started in Coleraine.
They were one of the first state conservation organizations.
Right. So they were along for a long time.
So how crazy is that? MBI started in Coleraine in 46.
Yeah.
And then MDHA started in 1980 in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
Some of the same guys.
5 miles away.
Right. I mean, that's just crazy. But anyways.
We got a lot of doers up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. During the wintertime, we got a lot of downtime. We got to think. We got to do.
We got that too.
So MBI had been around for a long time.
Right.
And we'll just say crossbows came up.
And it kind
of new leadership.
Yeah. And
it just went south.
I don't know. I hate to say what happened because everybody has their own issues to deal with, but they were running MBI and they just kind of let it go.
Yep.
I was a member off and on.
I think I was too off and on.
I was too.
Just basically you turn in your membership and then
you get nothing.
Crickets.
No newsletter.
Yeah.
No state meetings. No.
Yeah. And I think maybe they just fell along the wayside of, it's tough to run an organization these days because hunting's on the downside.
It's true. I mean, a lot of conservation organizations, they're based on volunteers.
Yeah,
and it's tough. Hard. I mean, we lost
damn near impossible.
We lost Minnesota Waterfowl Association.
Right.
So it happens.
Yeah. I'm not saying it was any nefarious reason. But either way, MBI went away.
Yep. Yeah.
And then I saw the chance to get the domain, mnbowhunters.com. So I grabbed it up and decided we were going to make something of it. Yeah. So we made Minbow, which is what we're calling it.
Yep.
For a place for Minnesota Bowhunters to come sign up, and we're only going to focus on bow hunting. We're not going to we're going to support the organizations, and this is just my opinion. I mean, obviously we're going to take everybody else's opinion that joins this organization, but there's organizations out there that are focused on conservation and habitat improvement. We're not going to do that, but we're going to support those organizations. We're going to focus on bow hunting.
Yeah.
Correct.
And bow hunter issues.
Yeah.
We're not going to get too broad that we can't get things done. So we're bow hunters for bow hunters, basically.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a need. And it was a need when MBI formed all those years ago.
Right.
The need never went away to have bow hunting representatives.
Right.
So let's get that back.
Right.
Well, exactly. And some may ask, or some may say, and we've seen it, you're just MDHA.
Right.
Well, we're not.
No.
MDHA has, as you said, the conservation, the habitat. They have all these programs, which are great, and they serve a niche, And you can say, well, MDHA supports all hunting, and it does. It truly does. It's all deer hunting.
All deer hunting.
Bow, rifle, muzzleloading, crossbow, everything. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't. Bow hunting is different. We all know that as bow hunters. That it's a different need. It's a different focus. Right. It's different marketing. It's different. There's guys that go from both sides. I mean, I bow hunt and I rifle hunt, but my true passion is bow hunting.
Right.
It's a different level of dedication.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, there are dedicated deer hunters.
Yep.
And then there's a lot of deer hunters that love to be casual deer hunters.
Yeah.
There's not many casual bow hunters. When you're a bow hunter, you're usually dedicated.
Well, you spend a lot more time.
Yeah.
Practicing.
And then we have issues that concern bow hunters in particular.
Right.
And that voice is needed.
Well, I think so.
As well as just an opportunity just to belong to something that recognizes you. I mean, what do we have? I don't know. Did you bring data and stuff like that? We've got 100,000 some bow hunters.
108,000 plus.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say harvest numbers. I don't have that data, but it was
108,000 archery licenses were sold.
All right.
Archery licenses were sold.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's probably going to grow.
Yeah.
And
I think so.
Yeah, well, it's going to grow because, eventually we're going to get to talking about crossbows. But one of the issues with crossbows, before we get too far into it, is that I personally know two guys who just recently had never, ever shot any kind of archery equipment.
Right.
And have picked up crossbows.
Right.
Yeah.
They were only rifle hunters. And one of them didn't bother to rifle hunt this year. And we're only 2 years into that.
Yep.
So there's probably within reason to believe that some more rifle hunters are going to convert or at least try. I think that's a very reasonable thought.
Yeah, so you're saying crossbows are like a gateway drug to archery?
For some people, I believe it is. I mean, we're going to get to talking more details about it down the road. Right, that's a hot topic. But let's face it, it's an easy way to get into it.
It really is. Yeah.
But going off of what you were saying, Joe, was, so let's take, for instance, four-corn camps with the youth to get you firearm safety. It's easy to train with a gun, scoped rifle, non-scoped rifle. It's easy. You can do that every couple of weeks to get good with it, and you're pretty good. So then we've got our NAS programs, our natural archery in the school, and those go on all winter long. It takes longer to get more efficient.
Yeah.
with a bow.
More,
And we all
more
know
proficient,
that.
yeah.
More proficient, yeah. And so it's that learning curve. But these school programs are getting larger.
Huge.
And it's amazing what they
Love
do.
it.
And then these archery clubs, so you see more archery clubs than at least in our area there's gun clubs, but in my mind, from what I see, the archery clubs are larger, for the most part.
And they're more active.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, let's face it. How many people get together on the weekends and go shoot their 30-06?
Not enough. I mean, we're members of the local gun club, and we go out, the summertime, it's obviously easier, but still it's fair weather.
Yeah.
Where most of the archery clubs do have or a lot of them have an indoor range to where you can shoot all year round.
Yeah.
Obviously you got your 3D outdoor ranges, which, are summertime, but your indoor ranges just to get all the movement and everything down. And
But
get
how
your
many
accuracy.
gun clubs do you see have leagues? I mean, I know there's a few like handgun leagues, maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
There
in
are
this
some-
area, not many, I wouldn't think.
I belong to the Itasca Gun Club.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
And I don't participate out there very much more than just sighting in my rifles and stuff
Right.
for fun. But there are some events like the M1 Garand event.
Right.
It's really cool.
Yep.
But no, for the most part, it's a very small group of people that
Exactly.
and it's just not as much fun I think, for people than shooting 3D is a blast.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I mean, so that's archery becomes, to get back to what we're talking about, bow hunting is a very year round
Yes.
activity.
It can be, yeah.
Your bow hunters are the ones that are outside right now scouting.
Yep.
Yes.
After all the firearm seasons are all done, they're the ones out there going right now and marking where all the rub lines are and the scrapes and where the buck bedding areas are. And they're planning their habitat projects that they're going to be doing. I'm not saying gun hunters don't do that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing them because, again, I'm a gun hunter.
Yep.
Right.
My deer camp that I manage, etc., I bow hunted 1 week there. And it will probably be years before I bow hunt there again because it's the North Woods.
Yeah.
I'm working hard to make it more potentially bow hunter friendly, but it's a rifle camp, and I'm content with it being a rifle camp.
Yep.
Right.
So, anyway,
Well, and then, so to get ready for deer season, as a rifle hunter, I go out, I check my scope, 2 shots, boom, good to go.
yeah,
I'm going hunting.
That's most people.
Yeah.
Right.
Archery, I'm getting ready for season. I'm shooting.
You better be shooting all summer.
Yeah. If I'm not shooting all summer, come August, I'm shooting 15, 20, 30 arrows a night.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to the 3D range. If I can't make it every weekend for 3 weekends, I'm shooting at least my 3D target as much as possible just to get back in shape for archery.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I actually just recently bought myself a tool because I was running into issues with my shoulder the last few years. And it's an archery training tool, just so like in these winter months when I'm just sitting in the living room, just to draw back. It's one of those things with the rubber band kind of things, but it does help you keep those muscles tuned.
Yeah.
Because it's shooting that kind of a bow. I shoot traditional archery, so it requires me to keep my muscles toned in that sense. So anyway, but one of the things that you guys were wanting to talk about a lot about is what's going to make Minnesota Min Bow different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the vision of Minbo was, in order to be different, was to really try get our members more involved. And I know every organization says that, but we built the website and we wanted to make sure if there was an issue that was important to Bowhunters Minnesota, we could put it up for a vote to where our members could literally have their say. You can go into the members side of our website, and if there's something that's important to Bowhunters, you can voice your opinion immediately. Yeah. And we're going to tally that and we're going to follow that. So if we say, as Joe mentioned earlier, going back to the crossbow issue, that obviously is a hotbed topic with Bowhunters in Minnesota. We're going to put it up. Obviously, we're just getting started. We don't have really enough members to do that yet. But once we do, we're going to put it up and say, all right, how should Minbo operate in the future on this issue. We want our members to tell us. Because what I think and what Dino thinks, it doesn't matter. We want to know what everybody thinks. So I think that's what separates us. I think it's the attitude, even more so than what happens on the website. Our attitude is, bow hunters, let's get together. Let's figure this out. All of us bow hunters, and kind of drive that direction.
Yeah, we're going to use the technology. You know, we're going to. It's going to be
the best we can. Virtual meetings.
You know, the website a lot and social media.
Right.
And we'll have content out as well. You know, as much as possible. So more of kind of a new age.
I like that word, new age. And we want advisors more than directors, really, because we want advisors from all walks of life, all aspects of archery and bow hunting. We want people to participate really in this, and we're giving you an easy way to participate.
Yeah,
because we're all super busy. We can't take days off and go to meetings for a day, but everybody can find time to be online because we're always online anyway.
Yep.
So log in. Make your opinion known.
Anybody can be a member.
You
know, advisors, once you're a member, you can sign up to be an advisor. It's real simple. And the advisor's role is exactly that. You're an advisor. You're, help cultivate the organization as to what we want it and what it should be.
Yeah. I mean, we want to know your opinions.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be great if every member was an advisor, but that's not going to happen. But advisors are just that step above that can help make decisions and help listen to the members. And, so MDHA is regional directors. So we can kind of use the advisors in that way as well, and we want advisors from all aspects, So like Joe, you're more of a traditional archer. So that's great to have that. We would love some women on there, archers.
How about archery shops?
Archery shops would be great. We actually have Gary Castellano
from my Task
Archery. Yeah. He's an advisor.
Yeah.
And he's more still traditional, but he shoots all, and he has. So
he's a Hoyt dealer.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Yeah.
So he has a 3D range.
Yeah. Yep. And he supports a lot of the local, school programs and everything else. So, you can become a member, and then you can sign up to be an advisor. And we'll take those
help
applications.
Drive.
To help drive how the organization is formed and moves.
And as an advisor, you can, if you want to, you can create content for the website, articles, pictures, videos, whatever you want, and we'll share them. It's a great way to get that information out there. So if you're somebody that creates content as a content creator, we'd love to have you as an advisor.
Yeah.
Excellent. So getting back to just a regular member, what you're saying is there might be some discussion. We can kind of create some sort of way to do social media discussion on a topic, which will help us form an actual question that we can poll.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
And then anybody who's a member is going to be able to cast a vote for that. Will you be able to do
They'll cast their vote on the direction of Minbo.
Gotcha. And will we have a system that's set up so somebody can't come in there and cast 1,000 votes for the?
Absolutely. Yes. Once you're a member, you actually log into the website. The website will tell you how many times you can vote. Okay. You can vote once.
Yeah, and it shuts you down.
It shuts you down if you try to vote again.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But you can see the results instantly.
I'm not aware of any conservation organization that has an access like that for its members.
Right.
I'm not aware either.
That's
not as of yet.
Extremely unique, probably long overdue, but the technology is here. So
there's so many different ways to do it.
Let's use it.
Yeah.
Why not try it out?
Oh, absolutely. That would really be phenomenal.
Is it going to hurt us? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Why would listening to our members hurt us?
Exactly.
Hey, let's face it. Sometimes, no matter what conservation organization you might belong to, they come up and they support things that you don't personally support.
Well, and that's just the way it's always going to be, because let's say you got an organization with 5,000 members. I mean, if 4,000 of them think one way, that organization's probably going to follow that way.
Yeah. And that's kind of democracy.
That's democracy. Exactly. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
But Minbo, right now we're just starting. We're pretty fresh. We're pretty new.
Yeah.
Come on board and you can help you can help direct the direction of this organization right now.
Yeah, we could really do that.
Mm-hmm.
Will we have access to things like lobbying kind of things from? Is that something we're going to be able to utilize, or are we?
So we are partnering and working with collaborating. Collaborating is the better term.
Yeah.
Collaborating with MDHA, Minnesota Deer Hunters Association. So they have a lobbyist, obviously. And so with us collaborating with them, if there's bow hunter topics, strictly bow hunting, we can utilize that person as well.
Right. And he will keep on top of anything that may affect bow hunters too and get back to us.
Yep.
So we can stay on top of those issues too.
Is he specifically going to target just Minbow? No. But in the collaboration, yeah. Yep. So, I mean, over time, we would potentially have our own lobbyists, and stuff like
let's face it, just to be the throw it out there kind of guy, there's a chance that sometimes something that Minnesota Bowhunters wants,
MDHA doesn't.
MDHA doesn't.
That is correct.
Yep. And then that's been discussed.
It has.
And it could happen.
Yep.
And we're aware of that. And that's just something that is going to happen.
And that's why it's just it's a collaboration.
Yeah.
And with that collaboration, we also, so when you sign up to be a member of Minbow, you get a subscription to Whitetails Magazine, which is MDHA's magazine.
Right. It's a great magazine.
Yep. And with that, you'll get that every month, every quarter, every month. Yeah.
Whoa,
yeah, that'd
man.
be nice, right? Yeah.
Aren't you on the Whitetails committee, Dean?
Yeah. Yeah. We got to step up our game, man. So that's one of the perks as well. And then Whitetails, obviously, we're cultivating that to have a little bit more bow hunting, content in it as well. So,
and that bow hunting content won't necessarily mean just strictly bow hunting whitetails.
No. Because bow hunters, we bow hunt bear, we bow hunt turkeys.
Yeah.
I mean, I've used to bow hunt small game like hare. I love it.
Gosh, yeah,
that is a hoot.
One year I did a recurve bow hunt on the Sioux Hustler Trail. It's a 27-mile trail in the B-Dub.
Yeah.
And my buddy and I just walked that trail with our backpacks. We camped along the way and hunted grouse with our bows.
Oh, you got to write a story for Minbow on that, Joe.
Oh,
please
that was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was funny because we weren't like 200 yards down the trail and I shot a grouse.
We
both looked at each other and said, well, this is going to be easy. And then we proceeded to miss about a dozen more.
Nice.
So there it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, cost of membership.
The basic Minbow membership is $40.
Okay.
And we have a dual membership with MDHA for $70, where you get both memberships. So you get all the benefits of Minnesota Deer Hunters. You can support their habitat and conservation efforts.
Yep.
And support bow hunting with Minbow for $70. Obviously, we have some extended length memberships like our 5-year, which people have signed up for already. Yep. We'll probably have, we don't have any life memberships yet because, we just started, but we probably will. So yeah, and we have recurring and non-recurring memberships too. So we make it as easy as possible with as many options as possible.
Yeah. And the perks will keep coming. I mean, like we said, right now, probably the biggest perk, in my mind would be the Whitetails magazine, and being part of Minbow.
Well, and supporting Minbow.
And then eventually, as we, grow, we'll have more sponsorships, more perks that we can offer.
Hopefully some discounts.
Well. Yep. Discounts would be great. Yeah. So hopefully we can, and with this, the different marketing and everything. So I think it's really going to be good for everybody.
Yeah.
Good for bow hunting for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the website also could be probably some interactive stuff on there where people will be able to maybe post pictures of their.
Yeah, we could do anything. I mean, if members have ideas, want to shoot us ideas, we'll definitely consider it. And that's another thing we can put up to a vote.
Yeah.
As members, what do we want? What's useful to us? We'll make that website do it. And obviously on Minbow, we also have pro shop listings.
Yes.
Range listings, archery club listings. Archery clubs, if you want a listing online, you can just get a hold of us. We have a form you fill out. we'll get you put up there. You can use it as a website if you want for free, 100% free for archery clubs. We already have Hibbing on there and Grand Rapids on there. Pro Shop, sign up as a business member. You can get a listing on there. You got pictures, events, location, all kinds of good stuff you can put on there.
I like it.
We're going to be a resource for the bow hunter in Minnesota.
Yeah. You know, when you're a bow hunter and you live more in a metro area,
right?
It's more challenging to find places to shoot your bow.
Right.
I mean, us country boys step outside and fling arrows.
Yep. Right.
You know, that's tougher. And when you don't experience that on a day to day, you don't understand it. But yeah, it takes more effort for somebody down in the metro to go shoot their bow.
Yeah. Right.
It's not that it's not available. It's just, but having that information available, listings, etc.
Right. I want the listings because, I mean, we love shooting 3D.
Yep.
And each range is different. I want to know where all those ranges are. So if I'm in an area, I can go try out a range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to support the events. We're planning hopefully an event. We're hoping for one a year where we can do a shoot, we can do a banquet kind of thing. But there's big events around the area that maybe people don't know, like Bowfest.
Yeah.
That happens in Superior. They have concerts and shoots. I mean, stuff like that. I want to just promote more along with archery clubs. I
know that for years I went to the traditional bow hunters weekend down at Rapids Archery down in Coon Rapids.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I mean, it was on Father's Day weekend forever. I've probably been to 20 of them over the years.
Yeah.
That event is really cool for anybody who's a trad bow hunter, or if you're interested in trad bows. I mean, there's vendors like crazy there and people where you could learn a lot. And they're friendly folks. They want to help you out. So when it comes to the trad bows, a lot of times it's kind of like fly fishing.
Right.
How do you do that? I don't know how to do it. How do you aim a bow? I mean, all those questions that people have, the mystery,
right?
They're solvable.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, we've been doing this for thousands of years.
Right. Well, and that's what Minbow, we want it to be a resource for people to help people get into archery.
Right.
At every level and all kinds. We wanted to do that too, and even city archery hunts. There's a lot of people archers that may not know that you can hunt within your city limits or, whatnot. And some of them just don't know it. It's like, you do have resources to hunt in your area that, we would love you to utilize.
Right. What do they call those? The late onset hunters?
Right.
Yep.
When you're a late onset hunter, finding a place to go deer hunting, for example, can be challenging because breaking into an existing deer camp or even the intimidation of going out on a public land and everybody seems to have their spots.
Right.
But archery is different. I mean, you have a lot more access.
Yep.
And then you got the metropolitan areas, like you said, there's city hunts.
Yeah.
That are right in the backyards.
And they're great hunts, too.
Beautiful deer. A lot of big deer taken in city hunts.
Well, and they serve a very important purpose.
Right.
It's the tool of wildlife management, using hunting as a tool.
Right. Bow hunting specifically.
Yeah, because it's safer to use, and et cetera. It fits in with the geography of the land, so to speak.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. If we could help with that.
Use it as a resource. And, at some point we've looked at community within the website.
Right. And that's one of the questions on there now. It's like, well, this is something you guys would use because we have options to build community on the website, or do we use just, your social media tools now? We, that's the kind of input we're needing now is like, what would bow hunters as members utilize? What would be useful to you?
Yeah.
Tell us now and we'll take care of it.
One of the things that I always used to enjoy was those, I don't know what the terminology for them is, but some of my fellow trad people out there will recognize the name Trad Gang. And it was like where you would go on and it's a forum is the word.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Having where hey guys, I'm struggling with blankety blank broadheads. Anybody else having this issue? and you get all of this feedback from other people.
Right.
That kind of stuff is super valuable.
Well, and we do have that built into the site. It's not turned on yet. I had it turned on, but I turned it off. A great option for that, which is like the new way to do a forum.
Oh, okay.
So that option is there, but I wasn't sure who would use it.
Right.
So I was hoping the members would tell me if that's something they would use.
Yeah.
Behind, obviously, your membership, you log in, you'd have to be a member. We could have all kinds of those different areas where you could talk about various things, and even video options and class options. I mean, all kinds of good stuff that you can do nowadays. So that's what I'm hoping the membership will tell us is what is useful and what will our members want to use.
And the plus side with it being on the website to where you have to be a member, it gets you away from asking those questions on social media and getting ignorant responses.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, so that's where it's a community and a constructive community to where you're all members, you're all after the same thing. Right. So you get that better response.
I like that.
You know, out of it, rather than if you post up, you know, well, what do you use for a tree stand? Or I want to use XOP, and then you get all the XOP haters. It's like, come on, guys.
Which leads us into another thing. You might hear us on like social media telling people we don't want you as a member.
That's very good. Yeah.
I was just going to ask you, what are you going to do when someone's just a real dick?
We're going to tell them to pound sand. Pound sand.
Bye, Felicia.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you know, because
you're going to be a troll around Minbo is going to tell you where to go.
Yeah.
You know what? We don't want your membership. I'm going to say it. If you're not going to be constructive and be a good member, you don't need to be a member.
We don't want you as a member.
We don't want your money.
Yeah.
We don't want you to be a member. Just go away.
Yeah.
Go away.
I like that.
Yeah. And we're pretty funny guys, so we're going to make fun of you probably.
Right.
Too.
Exactly.
Put it this way.
Yeah.
I'm an old guy. I'm approaching 60. I am hoping that this layout, this format that we're talking about is very appealing to that younger generation.
Yeah.
That's going to have some really cool ideas.
I hope so too.
That are the ones that are driving what I wind up really enjoying.
Yep.
I love YouTube. Gathering hunting information and reviews from YouTube. I love that.
Yep.
So getting that kind of stuff that becomes even more Minnesota specific, that's phenomenal.
Exactly.
I mean, there's nothing worse than being on a habitat page and some guy's talking about habitat in Mississippi.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's ripping on the fact that you want to plant winter rye because that don't grow where you live.
You got to plant clover.
Yeah. It's like, so it's going to be comforting to be walking and talking with people.
Minnesota people.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like that.
Yep. And, you know, chapters. Are we going to have chapters?
No.
Honestly, it's going to be a statewide organization. You know, we kind of looked at even BHA, and they don't have chapters. They have states.
Yeah.
Right.
So we may have, you know, I'd hope we'd have a few advisors in different area of the states to where we could do events in different area of the states easier. That's the main, that's the main plus. You know, we don't want, like we said, we're not your daddy's organization. We're not the traditional organization.
Right.
And so we want, it's going to be different.
Yeah. Where we can be different, we're going to be different.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's why we're not going to do chapters. Everybody's going to be part of it, you know. And like I said, members are going to have a vote.
Members are going to have as much say as we possibly can give them and keep the organization going. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to be involved.
We're happy to have you, Joe. You're an advisor, and we want more advisors just like you who shoot traditional, who are different than us. I want young people. I want Southern Minnesota people. I want everybody on board. I want to hear all the issues from all over Minnesota.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not just yahoos like me and Dean. We agree too much.
You know, and go back to the haters. We've already received some hate. And we're going to.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And you're always going to online.
Yep.
But it's the same general hate. Oh, my gosh. You guys are from Grand Rapids. You're MDHA.
Yeah, you've got to be. It's just another MDHA form.
Which I will admit, I'm a member of MDHA. My day job is MDHA. I like MDHA. I live and breathe MDHA, but this is separate from MDHA.
It is.
I'm a life member of MDHA.
Right. Yeah.
I worked for the MDHA. Do I agree with everything that ever happened with the MDHA? Every bylaw we ever passed or every resolution? Heck no.
Right. And you're never
it
going
happens.
to.
I mean, and if you are a kind of person that one resolution or something like that drives you to, I can't support them anymore.
Right.
Well,
you're not going to fit in anywhere, bud.
No, probably not even in your own bathroom when you look in the mirror. Because let's face it, things happen and you change your mind.
You do.
Or you talk to somebody and you go, well, I never thought of it that way.
Yep.
But, if you're closed-minded and you only see one way and everything is black and white,
right.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, maybe not for you.
We're not going to, that's just thinking of jam. I mean, I've had to swallow my pride many times on issues that the MDHA supported.
Right.
And that's probably not going to change with Minnesota Bowhunters.
And I think sometimes it forces you to see things from other people's perspective. And sometimes that'll make sense to you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of the crossbow issue.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hot topic right now.
It's huge.
Dude, it is.
In the bow hunting, society, it's a hot topic. And personally, I feel that's why MBI kind of went along the wayside as their leadership kind of took a hardline stance of crossbows. No, never anyway, you know? And I think there's a varying opinion on crossbows in the Minnesota bow hunting community that you have to realize that and accept that and listen to that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there is a place, I think, for crossbows, in my opinion.
It's been going on for literally decades now.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's parts that really ticked me off, quite frankly. I mean, I will say that I've written articles that have appeared in Outdoor News and I don't know if I ever did get one in MDHA at the time, but my biggest pet peeve with the crossbow industry, and this might offend some people, but I'm going to tell you, trying to tell me that a crossbow is the same as a bow pissed me off to no end.
Right.
When I know that, and I have, because I used to be the director at a shooting sports center, I can put a crossbow in somebody's hand and in 15, 20 minutes have them grouping at 50 yards. I could never do that with a person with a longbow recurve or a compound.
Right.
Yep.
I don't care how fancy that compound is. It still requires drawing. It still requires archery form.
Yep.
Good form.
Yep.
I mean, form is everything.
Right.
There's no form involved when I put that crossbow on a rest and squeeze the trigger.
Right.
Now, that said, I always said crossbow's a cool weapon. It's a cool hunting tool.
For sure.
But don't try to. I thought that they made this whole thing last a lot longer than it needed by taking 20 years to try to tell me that it's the same.
Yeah.
It's like you rubbed me wrong because you tried to tell me that an apple is the same as an orange.
Right.
And just because they're fruit, because they both shot an arrow.
Right.
And it's like, that's just silly. Does the crossbow have a place? Absolutely. I see it being for one, I'm an opportunist. I hunt with bows. I hunt with muzzle loaders. I hunt with rifles because I enjoy hunting.
Yep. Exactly.
I enjoy hunting. I would hunt with a handgun if I had one that could. I mean, it's fun.
It's
okay. And I'm not going to tell someone that they're not having fun when they're crossbow hunting.
Right.
I have two friends that just recently got into crossbow hunting. And one of them, I helped him shop for a crossbow because he'd never shot any kind of archery before. Mm-hmm. So he didn't know anything about it. Anything from, setting up a deer stand that's a portable, that's shooting downward, everything from the crossbow itself and how an arrow kills versus a bullet. Mm-hmm. It was all a learning thing. And the fact of the matter is his very first year, he was successful. He shot a little buck.
Yeah.
Made his day. And he turned to me and he said, I don't know if I'll ever bother to gun hunt again because this was so much fun hunting in October.
Yeah.
Right.
And enjoying the woods and
not
the beautiful
freezing to death.
Yeah, not freezing, enjoying the scenery, enjoying the wildlife, just sitting back. And he said, and he got a deer. Second year, he didn't get a deer this year. But he stuck it out with the crossbow the whole time.
Nice.
He never picked up the rifle, though he could have. He just stuck with it. So to me, the thing that I would say if I was going to make a little voting thing on I really want to see some kind of way that you categorize a person when they buy a crossbow license. I feel that the Minnesota made a big mistake when they did not have that as part of the legislation.
Right.
And keep in mind, folks, the DNR didn't write this. This was a legislative piece.
Right.
So either that was intentional or mistaken. I don't know. But bottom line is, when we review this, there's got to be a way to say, this is how many licenses are crossbow license. This is how many are bow, or vice versa. Because I don't. Who's to say that a person couldn't own both?
Well, I think a person could own both, but I honestly believe that maybe they should, when they buy a license, they should have to select and stick with it. I mean, if you're going to be a crossbow hunter, you're going to be a crossbow hunter. Yeah. And you can switch from year to year, but I don't think you should be able to switch from season to season. But there's so many different opinions on that you could go 100 different ways.
Yeah, there is. I mean,
but I think being able to track is important.
Yeah, being able to track is, because a crossbow, whether you like it or not, it's archery equipment. It's just for now, it's just another tool to hunt with. We just that's what it is, and I hunt archery and then I hunt rifle, and instead of buying my muzzleloader tag, I pulled out my crossbow, because when it gets below 30 degrees, it's tough to pull back a bow. You got a lot of clothes on and everything.
Tell me about it.
Even hunting in, because then you move to, or in my case, I even moved to a box blind. Well, the windows that I hunt in the one area out of where I see the most deer, it is not conducive for a vertical bow. Right. So it's more conducive for rifle or
a crossbow.
Yeah. So that's what I would use. Was that successful? No, I haven't shot anything with it yet. But it was another tool to keep me hunting longer.
And you should have that option.
Right.
You should have that option.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what I look at it. I love my compound bow. I will never get rid of it and go strictly, crossbow, whatever. I see it as another tool. Yes, I do think, it maybe should be another license. So be it. But I still think there's a time and a place for it. And like you said, it got your friends into archery.
Yeah. Right. And maybe the next step will be the vertical bow.
Yeah, and into more hunting. Yeah. They hunted earlier. They were happier. They hunted longer. So guess what? You hunt longer, you tend to spend more money.
That's true too.
If you go places to hunt, you're going to travel. You're going to spend more money. You've got to get a new stand. You're going to get different if you're camo. Yeah. If
you're
strictly
Blaze Orange his whole life.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're strictly Blaze Orange, now I'm hunting October. I need midweight gear or light gear because this year's going to be a warm year. Yeah. So then they're spending money.
Right.
In your local
which is good for the industry.
Which is good for the industry.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, I just don't get all the hate around it. I absolutely don't.
Well, bottom line is, it doesn't matter. People could hate on it all they want, but it's not going away.
No, it's not.
That horse left the barn, so you might as well just embrace it and now figure out, not necessarily embrace it. Take back my words on that. Now let's figure out what we can do to live with it. And I think that as this organization comes, the members are going to tell us, we want a license for crossbows. And will the season change? That's dependent on how you evaluate the data.
Yeah, right.
I mean, but you can't evaluate data without that point.
Yes.
It's a mathematical formula. If you're missing how many crossbow hunters are there, but you got harvest,
right?
But you have people voluntarily saying, "Oh, I got it with a crossbow,"
right?
I mean, that's just not. Appropriate.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the best way for sure.
It's a total missed. If it's my wildlife management 101, man.
Yep. Right.
Yeah. You've got to have the data to understand, so many crossbow licenses were sold, but the harvest was more in December. Okay. Well, then maybe you rotate the season, or
that's all of that data helps you.
That's how it tells you what to do.
Yeah. Exactly. And let's face it too. I mean, not face it. Archery license sales. Do you guys have that data? Do we pull that up? I mean,
I don't have the exact data, but I know before this previous year, when they allowed crossbows for everybody, license sales were going down for archery, and then they peaked back up, not by a ton, but they did peak up, and harvest numbers reach back to what they were previously as well.
And then harvest data has shown that a significant portion of the harvest has been reported as crossbow
It has
harvest.
been, yeah.
Right.
So
Voluntarily reported.
all we could do right now, because we're missing that data point, is we could speculate.
Right.
All we could say is, yes, some new people were recruited and used the crossbow.
Yep.
And possibly a lot of vertical bow hunters picked up crossbows.
And maybe they're just trying it, though. We don't know how
We
it's
don't
going
know.
to trend
It's only
or not.
2 years.
Right.
Yeah. And honestly, what I saw with crossbow sales when they allowed it for everybody, sales didn't skyrocket. I mean, there weren't crossbows flying off the shelves. All the distributors still had crossbows. We had crossbows in stock. They weren't, not everybody called, hey, got a crossbow? You got a crossbow? Can I get one? They weren't on back order. So the people that were always hunting with crossbows still hunted with crossbows. New people came in to try it, but it wasn't like they were just this new
They already
revelation.
had the crossbows. They just weren't
Exactly.
hunting with them. They wanted to
I
always
think
try it.
I think it sounds like to me that it's still so much in its infancy
Right.
that we don't know.
There's a lot we don't know.
And again, that data point, once we have that data point, that's going to tell us a lot.
Yep.
Because you're going to see the trend. Are we eventually let's face it, the first year, for example, a lot of people, I use the place I work a lot as a kind of my little barometer of the hunting community.
Yep.
At least 15 of the guys that I work with are hunters. Out of that number, only one of them bought a crossbow that first year when it went to everybody could buy one.
Yeah.
Right.
Not the 60 or plus, but anybody. So he's the same age as me. He's 57 at the time when he bought that crossbow. When Steve, I should tell his name. when he bought his crossbow, and then we were chatting about it and stuff, other people were going, "You're going to use a crossbow?" Still, a number of people didn't even know it was an option.
Right. Yeah.
Year 2 comes along, a little more people know it's an option.
Yep.
I think the third year is going to tell us
I think it will
obviously
too.
more.
Yeah.
But probably a good bit more.
Yep. Well, and it's just like any other archery equipment. There is a barrier to entry into archery just in the cost of the equipment. So take for instance a rifle. You can buy a Savage decent rifle, Axis 2XP for $450
On sale
Okay?
usually.
Yeah, and that'll get you
with a scope.
Yeah, no
not
doubt.
the best scope in the world, but a scope.
But it'll get you hunting,
Yeah.
and you can shoot 200 yards.
Right.
You can shoot accurately for the normal shooter.
Within an hour or less.
Yep. Now, when it comes to archery equipment, you're not getting an accurate. Well, okay, let's just say you buy your bow. I don't know. Can you buy a bow anymore for $500?
I think the archery's.
So you buy a bare bones bow for $600.
That's
Let's just say that. Well, then you got a sight.
Yeah.
Well, there's $100. Then you've got your rest.
Release.
There's release. Then you've got your arrows, which you
yeah.
can reuse arrows.
Yeah.
But still,
Yeah.
you're not getting into archery very rarely for under $1,000 anymore.
It's terrible. Yeah, you didn't talk about broadheads.
Right.
And like you said, archers hunt differently than rifle hunters. They're not building stands and stuff. So you need a set of sticks or something.
Yeah.
You need a portable or a saddle, however you're going to hunt.
Safety harness.
It's expensive.
It is.
And that's kind of a bummer. The archery industry really needs to say, geez, we need to work on this.
Yeah.
When I was helping my friend buy that crossbow, we were like, holy, it's anything from $400 to $3,500 for a crossbow.
You can get a crossbow for that. But again, it's like, it's your starter bow.
Yeah.
You're only shooting 320 feet per second, which is still pretty fast.
That's moving as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
But then
But
you
I
still
get
have
it.
bolts. You still have broadheads. Yeah. There's still
It's not
details.
cheap
Right.
to get into that. And that alone is kind of, when we talk about trying to use it as a recruitment tool,
Yep.
we need some help on the archery industry side of things.
Right.
Because if I'm a dad and I'm trying to get my kid into archery, and it's going to cost me $1,000 for each one of my kids to get into archery, as opposed to maybe you should just go gun hunting and I'll get you a Savage for $450.
Right. We can kill a setup for $400.
And then you look at it and archery hunters, I look at it. Archery hunters are the ones that are they're upgrading
Yeah, all the time.
All the time.
Well,
Upgrading camo,
For no
upgrading
reason.
stands, upgrading equipment.
Well, even us trad bow hunters, no respectable trad bow hunter owns only one bow.
Right.
Right.
Yep. We're a rifle hunter. I've had my orange gear for 15 years.
Yeah.
I've got the same rifle. Yeah, I'll buy a new rifle every few years. But guess what? Opening day, I'm hunting with old Betty that, Dad gave me that I've hunted with for years.
But
So I don't know how we tackle that issue, but getting back to the crossbows, there's just where this organization is going to go stand on it will be dependent on the members.
Right.
But know that we hear it, just us so far who are involved,
Right.
understand the concerns that people have. I mean, I'll play the advocate for what are the concerns. Let's say crossbow hunting takes on and it's just huge. It goes crazy. 90% of the archers are crossbow hunters. I'll give you an example. For example, when I'm a traditional muzzleloader hunter, so I'm a really everybody's pain in the ass, when it comes to this stuff. And scopes on muzzleloaders, getting back to MDHA. I was working with MDHA when we were pushing really hard for scopes on muzzleloaders. And in my heart, I hated the idea. And now, oh boy, everybody listening out there burning their ears. I hated the idea because the DNR said that it's just a social concern. Don't worry about it. It's not going to change anything. However, the very first year scopes went on muzzleloaders, if you hunted in a lottery area, you had to do what with a muzzleloader now? Apply for a doe tag.
Yep.
Where for 25, 30 years, whatever it is, that everybody was out there hunting muzzleloaders with just no scopes on, we could shoot a doe anywhere. It was treated like a bow.
Right.
It was a short range weapon. You could hunt really hard with your bow and your rifle, and still we had that muzzleloader that I can go out and I can maybe still get some venison and have some fun. But that changed. Two things that ticked me off about that. One, if it was just a social issue, DNR, why did you say no?
Change, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was not honest. So, bringing this back to crossbows. Could that happen for crossbows? Right now, archery hunters could shoot a buck or a doe anywhere in the state except for a bucks only area, like in the far north where the wolves are smacking the deer in the winters, etc. That, as a traditional archer or any vertical bow archer, that might really tick you off.
Yeah, that would tick, I think, pretty much all bow hunters off. They changed it for vertical bows. Yeah. So that's where some of the people are coming from on that. And their other fear would be that are you going to say all archery loses their season length because of this influx? That's why it's important to have the two tags. Separation, yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, that's definitely an issue that the members can vote on and we can fight for and work on and see what we can get done.
Depending on what the members say.
Exactly.
And there's going to be, like we said.
Yep.
I might have to go, damn. I got outvoted.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I've heard already in just a short time we've been working on this, different viewpoints that have made me rethink even that and just brought those varying viewpoints to my attention, which makes sense. And I think that's what's great about an organization like this is we can talk, we can give people an area to talk and not just strike out and hate on a certain thing. We give them a spot to explain themselves, listening to you might change somebody's mind or
we want to be productive.
Right.
Correct.
And we want to be problem solvers.
Exactly.
Not wall makers.
Exactly.
Barriers. And,
Ben Bow's just going to be a crossbow organization.
yeah.
You know what? Get bent, bud.
Yeah.
Don't join.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Yeah. We don't need that.
Yep.
Because I want to hear those other stories.
Exactly.
If I didn't have those friends at work that got interested in crossbow, it would be real easy for me to just hang out with my friends all shooting sticks.
Right.
And not know what anybody else is.
Right. To hell with those compound bow shooters. What are they doing, right?
Wheels
on a bow? What's that?
Yeah.
And the way I look at it is I want to help somebody get into bow hunting. So when I moved up here 20 years ago, I didn't bow hunt.
Oh.
I didn't at all. till I met this guy.
Right.
Okay.
And he was, big into bow hunting. So to hang out and whatnot, and we could shoot all summer. And because the job I had, I didn't really even get to hunt regular rifle season. I had better chances to hunt early fall because of my job. So got into bow hunting.
Yep.
So that's what got me hunting. And I want to teach somebody that as well. If I can help somebody get into bow hunting to get them in the woods more, to have that experience, that is what my goal is. And that's what I want M Bow to do as well, to get more people into hunting at any age. I mean, I was 22 when I moved up here and got into bow hunting. So
Yeah. I remember you shooting for the first time. We had to help you pull your bow back.
Right, you did. Yep. And then and I got the biggest buck with that bow.
You did. You got me.
In your first year?
His first time
first
out.
year.
I thought I was doing great. I got a decent buck that year.
Yep.
I was feeling good. And then like a week or two later, we were hunting together. He shoots his monster.
I got it
First
mounted
bow.
in my house.
The guy from Kansas comes to northern Minnesota and kills a monster.
Where it's impossible to kill a deer with a
I
bow.
still don't like him to this day because of that.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yep. And bought the bow, kind of a hand-me-down bow. It was perfect for a few years. And then my first bow I actually bought at Itasca Archery. And I had that one for, it was 15 years.
Did you buy one off the consignment shelf or
No.
did you
No,
get a
I
new
actually
one?
bought it from a buddy. And then, the one I got from Itasca was a new one.
New one.
Yeah,
but
it was
some shops, just so people out there listening.
He does have, Gary
Yeah, a
does
lot
have
of shops
consignment,
hold consignment bows. So that's a really good way to get a bow.
Well, and there's a lot of guys that, they keep their bow for a year or two and then, upgrade because they changed a cam. They changed,
A color.
or something. So like, I need this newest bow. You don't get that
it
with
sounds
guns.
crazy and stuff, but when you already have that capital, so to speak,
Right.
that's how you rationalize that stuff.
Yep.
It's like you already got this bow, and I could sell it for $500. So that means I only need to come up with
Right. Exactly.
I did that last year.
We all do it.
Yep. I've tried that.
So that that's cool because it's really easy to pick on those guys because maybe they're changing out like that. But hey, that's cool. They
That just makes them happy. Go
Well,
for
and
it,
then,
bud.
my wife doesn't like to rifle hunt. She had a bad experience when she was younger or whatever. So I got her an archery and we shot for a few years, 3D range. She hasn't hunted with me yet because then our son was born. So, but we still have the bow and it's still a great bow. So it's just a matter of getting her back into it. And it's easier to go out. Hey, hun, let's go out tonight, after dinner and let's shoot 20 arrows.
Yeah.
So that's something you can do together. And
Be
it's
active.
and be
It's
active.
good for you.
You can do it in your backyard if you don't live, have neighbors that close. So, but that's the cool thing about archery and that Minbow, we want to accelerate that.
When my kids turned 4 years old is when they got their first bow.
Oh, absolutely.
I had 3 kids. Every kid had a bow. So archery was a family gathering.
Both my kids have had those.
So we would go to 3D tournaments, stuff like that, and have the whole little crew.
That's great.
Yeah.
And two of the 3 still hunt archery. My daughter had to kind of take a break from it for a while. She's just still working hard on schooling and things like that. So she might come back eventually. Yeah. But she still finds time for hunting. Yeah. Turkey hunting and stuff like that. But
that's most important.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My son, he's stuck with the stick bow. My daughter's got a compound.
Right.
But they're both successful and enjoy what they're doing. So
Well, and on top of that is, the bow hunting is just not deer.
Oh gosh,
right.
Turkey, bear.
Well, we were chatting about small game earlier.
Small game.
Yeah.
Small game hunting with a bow is a blast.
Oh my gosh.
How about bow fishing?
Oh,
I have a bow fishing setup, and I've never used it.
I'm on my way. In about a month, I'm going out to Devil's Lake, and you can use your bow out there.
Yeah.
I'm going on a for spear and pike and walleye. You can spear walleye at Devil's
You should
Lake.
totally do it and let us know
And
how
you
it
can
goes.
use your. I was reading the regulations. I'm like, what?
Yep.
Yeah, you could kill a pike with your bow or a walleye.
Road trip, because I've got that bow set up.
Yeah,
I mean, that actually makes it more fun because, like here in town, the buffalo in the Mississippi
Yeah.
River.
Yep.
That was a blast when I first moved here. I had a group of buddies that were way into it, and they took me bow fishing a few times. And we're killing big buffaloes. That was a blast.
Yeah.
But there's nothing you can do with them.
Right.
So I always
You can
felt kind
smoke
of.
them. You know.
I don't know what those you can.
Yeah, you could get the strip off
Right.
that little back strap, and that's about it. But I felt kind of like it was almost more of a pain in the butt to get rid of fish than it is just to fillet them and put them in your
Right,
freezer.
yeah.
So it's always like the end of the day, the rule was basically whoever didn't kill the most fish had to get rid of all the
Had
fish.
to take care of the
So you had to
mess.
haul them out to some freaking woods and dump buffalo in the woods, feed raccoons and stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be really cool. Maybe that's something that Minbo can do.
There you go.
We want to be able to shoot pike and walleyes in Minnesota.
There we go.
Oh, hey.
We'll have that as a vote as well.
We can do that as a vote because I think it would be blast because I'm
I
not a
think
huge
so,
fan
too.
of spearing in general. I mean, I think it's cool, but I would now if you let me go in there with my bow, I'd do it all day long.
Yeah.
And why not?
What's the difference?
Exactly. It's just a harvest. I would even be willing to say, okay, if you're allowed 6 pike, whatever it is, you could take 3 with your bow.
right.
I'd take a half a harvest. But the fact that I could kill something and go home and cook it makes it a lot better.
Right. Right.
How fun would that be?
And you already have your bow. It's just changing over for bow fishing.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, wow.
Yeah. But I forgot. Yeah. It's been a while since I bowfished, but you're right. That's a big part of archery. If you're out there not bow fishing or trying it. And then when, and when they passed, I don't remember what organization I should give credit to that passed it was the bow fishing, Minnesota Bowfishing. It was an organization.
Okay.
I don't know if they still exist, but they were the ones who lobbied and passed to get the lights on the boats. At
Okay.
that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the first time I went out and did that was like seeing an entirely different world.
Yeah. I
To
do
look
wanna
down
do
into
that.
a lake with the lights in the middle of the night. I mean, you'd see the fish and the turtles and all sorts of stuff. It was so cool.
That would be cool. I would love to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know there's guys down in my river by my house that do it all the time in the summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Join up with Minbo and
Let's get another topic.
take
You
us
have a
bow fishing.
Yeah, or get a tournament going. So.
There you go.
Yeah.
Lots
Well,
we
heck,
can do, man.
I know. So I think we covered pretty much everything.
Well, I think
mean,
we answered a lot of questions.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're listening, please go over to mnbowhunters.com and sign up.
Yeah. What do you got to lose? 1 year. If you hate it,
Right.
sign up again.
If you can at least log in and tell us we suck, then
yeah.
Do it.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's true.
Just don't do it on our Facebook because we might ban you
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
because we're going to be kind of
Yeah,
jerks
there's.
about that.
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of buy Felicias on there. Get bent, and there's going to be a paddle or something. I have a feeling there'll be a lot of that. But you know what? That's part of the fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to have fun with it.
Exactly. It will be fun,
Right.
and it'll be great. And there's a niche for it, and there's a need for it too.
Right.
We got to have it.
Yeah, we do. I mean, let's face it. I don't ever feel like bow hunters have ever got the representation at the state level that they deserve.
Right.
I mean, every time you hear the DNR talk about deer season, it's almost like it's all focused on opening weekend or
It
firearms.
is.
Right.
It is.
It's like anything outside of that, it
It's
never
just-
means anything.
Yep.
Yeah. Those bow hunter guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of these days, I know we've talked for a long time, but one of these days we should talk about where we're going with all of these licenses. Because let's say we do have a rifle license, a muzzleloader license, a crossbow license, and an archery license.
Right.
Once upon a time, there was this thing called the all season.
I used to buy it all the time.
I did too.
I loved it.
A lot of us bought it.
Yep.
And one day we woke up and it was gone.
Yep.
And that wasn't by any conservation organization.
Nope.
It
It was
wasn't
just
the
gone.
MDHA. It wasn't MBI. It just was gone.
Right.
Well, then how about we all get together
Yeah.
and all the organizations, and we go, hey, we want it back.
Because
Right.
Lobby for it.
with especially the direction we're going,
Yeah.
it might make more sense.
Exactly.
That might make more sense now than it did back then, even though at one time, and when they first came out with it, I actually wrote down some notes on this. with the first year that it came out, there was 2,300 hunters that purchased that license. And within 7 years, the last year that it was there, 76,000 people bought the license.
Well, yeah, it was just so much easier than going in and buying 3-4 license.
Yeah.
And I think you only saved like $5 or something.
You didn't know. You didn't know. This is what's really stupid about it. I mean, us, the hunters.
Yeah.
It cost you the price of 3 tags to get to kill 2 deer. So
Right,
you literally
but it was so
were
much
voluntarily paying 1/3 more.
Okay.
And so when people say the DNR is always after the money, apparently they're not.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they got rid of it. They figured it out. They go, oh, damn.
Because, so, I don't know. To me, that would be...
You think it'd be less paperwork even for them?
Well, it just makes it easier for all of us that are passionate deer hunters.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, if you're just a rifle hunter, yeah, that doesn't appeal to you.
Right.
But if you're one of the people out there, if you're a guy or a gal who likes to pick up the bow or pick up a muzzleloader for late season, that thing appealed to you.
Well, yeah, it was nice to get one tag and be able to do all 3
You got
seasons.
2 tags.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
A
got
doe and
2
a buck,
tags.
right?
You got a doe and a buck.
Yep.
Or it could be used as 2 does, depending
Right.
on. It was still.
Right.
It's
Still
still
depend on your zone.
yeah, whatever the zone was, it
Yeah.
honored the zone.
Right.
So, like, if you hunting only in a lottery zone, yeah, you're only going to be a lot of buck and a doe.
Yep.
Right.
But I mean, and dude, you can still play with that. If people don't like it, if it scares them, gun hunters are basically buying 2 tags. Well, you could say only 1 tag could be filled with a firearm.
Right.
You
I
know,
thought that's what it was. Yeah.
It wasn't,
No.
unfortunately, at the time.
Mm.
But yeah, I was kind of like really.
But these are the things that Minbo can push for
Exactly.
and advocate for.
and that nobody else is thinking about.
Exactly. Since
And-
we're not going to focus on the conservation, the habitat side, we're going to be able to focus on some of these other
That should be a
issues.
really exciting one to get.
Let Minbo be the, be the runner of the ship on that one, be the captain.
Right.
Because I
everybody
realize
else
that there
behind
are probably some bow hunters who only bow hunt.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think that a significant number of people who call themselves a bow hunter also pick up another kind of
Rifle, muzzleloader, maybe even a crossbow.
Yeah.
Who
And
knows?
yeah, as things evolve,
Mhm.
like you were referring to, Dean, you might have guys who are going, yeah, when it gets really cold, I'm putting my compound aside and I'm picking up the crossbow because I know for me with my kind of bow, I mean, I know there's guys that do it that go all the way down to December 31.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
But when it gets too cold, I can't draw a bow like I used to be able to.
Yep. And maybe they don't want
That's
to
when I
get
pick
into
up my muzzleloader.
Yeah. And maybe they don't want to get into muzzleloading because
they
there
have no
is
interest
a
in
little
it.
bit of barrier on that as well.
Yeah,
A little bit more training and how to load everything. I mean, it's simple, but yet there's still just that
Whatever.
little bit
Whatever.
different.
They got their reason.
Yeah.
Well, I think a good place for crossbows would be predator hunting in the winter. You can
That
still
would
use
be
your box
cool.
blind, your heater.
Yeah, I never even thought of
Oh,
that.
I want to try coyote hunting with my crossbow because you can get a little extra range and call them into that.
Turkeys
50.
would be another one.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going to tackle that this
That
year.
would be cool.
And then you got bear.
I do that. Anytime I get a chance, I do that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, this was fun.
Yeah,
I think it'll be great.
absolutely.
I think it'll be awesome.
Well, thanks for
I'm excited.
sitting down with us, Joe.
I learned a
thank you.
lot, even though I said I was on board from day one, but
All right. And
I
we
still
appreciate
learned a
it.
lot, and it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, so
and-
check out Minbo.
Yeah.
Sign
Bimbo.
Share.
yeah, we're still learning, so just help us out.
Mhm.
We'll get through it. But yeah, Minnesota Bowhunters, building community,
Celebrating tradition.
driving change.
Ooh, like that.
Like that?
I like that.
Oh, that's cool. Huh? All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association has been building our hunting and conservation legacy over the past 40 plus years through habitat, education, advocacy, and legislation in Minnesota for Minnesota.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association and Wolf Dot Report proudly sponsor this podcast. However, please note that the opinions, topics, and guests featured may not necessarily align with the views, beliefs, goals, or mission of our sponsors.